But mercy, why did I do this today? Oh, hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to shave some weight off your bike. But first, I got to shave some weight because I'm looking a little big. Is this thing on? We're about to shave some weight. I don't know where to go from here. All right, brochachos. New year, new me. That means we got a new camera and a new mic. No more bitching about the left-right audio, right? All right, back to the topic at hand. Tech Thursday. This bike needs to lose some weight. I'm going to show you guys how. You might need a couple things. A little saw and a pipe cutter. Probably an Allen key to remove some things, but for now, this will be good. If you're fancy and you got like some kind of jigsaw or circular saw or the jigsaw from the saw series, don't leave me a comment about it. This is what we're going to use for now, okay? Holy Mary Magdalene. For starters, there's excess weight all over your bike that you don't really need. The first place that a lot of people don't even think to look is your seat post. And as you can see, Phil's a little old school, so he's got a fistful of seat posts. Say that 5 times fast. But we're going to change that today. Well, maybe not the height, but we're going to change what's underneath. So let me undo the undercarriage system here. God damn it. It's probably going to be so loud now. Okay. Why do you need this much? You don't. So here's the important part. If your seat post is going to stick out of your frame, let's say this is 4.5 to 5 inches, what you're going to need to do is make sure that you have enough of a base. And as you can see, a lot of posts will actually say the minimum right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that Phil doesn't die by actually having enough anchor inside of the frame so that in case Phil throws his bike at anyone, when it bounces, it's not going to bend or break. So again, we removed it. We'll place the Allen key here. And then good old trusty pipe cutter. Here to the rescue. Pipe cutters can come in all sizes, shapes, and prices. The ones at OSS always get broken by customers, so we don't allow customers to use them. When you buy one of these bad boys, make sure you guard it with your life. These little blades get dull real fast if you don't know what you're doing. So,
don't let Connor use it.
Do not let Connor Keating use it. Bad idea. All right, so just for now, we're going to cut right above that minimum mark. So basically all you have to do is position the pipe cutter around that mark that we've already predetermined. Oh, too high. A little lower. We want to be right by that minimum mark. So we're actually chopping off a good almost 3.5 inches. So you tighten it down ever so gently and you give her a spin. And then you tighten her down again a little ever so gently. Shabam. You just keep doing that. Very gradual changes. The reason that people ruin pipe cutters is that they start really just mashing the blade. When you tighten it too much before it's actually penetrated or cut the post, that's when you start ruining these things. Also, a seat post is made out of aluminum, so it's already a light metal, so you don't have to go that hard on this. When you're cutting down bars, or especially a fork steer tube that's actually a hardened chromoly, that's what actually really destroys blades. So the seat post, not as bad, and it's actually pretty quick to cut. So I'm going to speed up the process here, not to bore you. Don't ruin this for me. Gonzo. So what we're going to do is we're going to save all the little pieces of metal that we collect, and then we're going to weigh it here on this trusty little scale. This little scale. Shipping scale, you say? All right. So now as you can see, I'm going to put the pipe cutter away because I'm going to hurt somebody, probably myself. All right. So now you can see if you place the post back in the frame where Phil had it, and honestly, Phil, you need grease, man. I'm going to dip you in a minute. Oh, Jesus! I forget I'm mic'd up, so this is going to sound very interesting later. Oh, there goes the pipe cutter.
How much?
Oh! Come on, Phil.
How much grease did you have?
We needed a lot of grease, as you can see. I might have OD'd a little bit on the grease, but the important part is that now the post fits properly. Okay, so just a little higher than he had it. I believe it was right around here. Bingo, bango. Oh, damn. That's going to leave a mark. Don't let Phil know.
I'm filming.
Filmer Phil. Number 1, seat post. Done. Number 2, while we're in this area, and somehow I already broke the new pipe cutter. I'm just staring at you for no reason. Okay, so next up, bars. Phil is riding mega wide bars. So we're going to cut off an inch on each side. So 1/2 inch. Bingo. Okay, 1/2 inch on each side. Damn it. Oh yeah. So we're gonna roll your joint. Oh wait, I don't smoke. We rolled up the grip, and now we're gonna measure. Remember kids, measure twice, cut once. So we're gonna take 1/2 inch off this bad boy. And the best way to do it is to actually use a writing utensil. And it just so happens that I brought a bunch of fresh Sharpies for OSS. Let me grab some. Where the hell's the tape measure? There it is. All right, guys. Very important. Again, measure twice, cut once. 1/2 inch. You mark it with your Sharpie. And then you go to town on this bad boy. I don't know where to leave the Sharpie before I lose it. Tape measure's good. Gotcha. It's probably going to wiggle the stand and fall. So mark my words. Not even impressed. One thing, when you cut about 1/2 inch, your blade is actually going to be centered at the 1/2 inch mark, but the roller piece that's actually helping you to guide the cut is actually going to be very close to the edge. So you want to be careful that you don't miss. And honestly, the bigger the pipe cutter, the bigger the degree that you have to cut the bar, because honestly, if you need to cut smaller increments, you're going to need a smaller pipe cutter. So 1/2 inch works for this. Oh yeah, baby.
Churn that butter.
Oh, I've churned. Oh, that's awful. All right, once you get to the very end, you'll hear the cracking noise. That either means that you destroyed my blade and Alf's going to throw another pipe cutter at you, or you made it. Oh, Jesus! Please make sure that when you're doing this, you don't cut the same piece twice. Like, I obviously flipped the bars, but if you didn't realize that, you might think I'm cutting the same side, and you might actually make the same mistake, so don't do that. You don't know what it's like to cut with a broken pipe cutter. Last time I was doing this, the pipe cutter was going everywhere. Like, Uncle Rico! I don't want to cut again. So apparently I didn't measure it that properly, but we're in a rush, guys. We're in a rush. Phil's not going to care about the millimeter. I mean, it's a millimeter. You're not going to feel it. Yeah. Now, if I did 1/2 inch on one side and the full inch on the other, I've never done this before. Beautiful. So now we've gotten C-post, bars. Where else can you shave some weight? Right in here. Steer tube. Let's just take a look at how long Phil's steer tube is. So what we're going to do is remove the stem. You have 2 pinch bolts back here. Loosen them up. I already started. They're not this loose normally, or else Phil would be dead. Both of these are 6mm Allens. The Odyssey cap is pretty cool because they have the 8mm that's higher up, and then you have to shove the 6mm in deeper. Get over here. All right, guys, if you remember my video on how to prank Phil, this fork is actually really hard to get the stem off of. So what we're going to do is just show you that inside of here, Phil has already removed about 1/2 inch of steer tube. Same way we did the bars. You just basically hit it with the pipe cutter and just keep rolling for infinity. They see me rolling. Since that's already done, I'm just going to put this cap back on, but I'm not going to tighten it up because I'm going to let Phil take one for the team again. JK, JK. Tighten up the stem. Now the stem is tight. Enough for Phil to not die. Also, make sure to check out the new On Some Shit stickers that we have dropping on the website tomorrow. Oh yeah, someone's been sticker bombed. Next up, axles. If you run 3 pegs, 4 pegs, or even no pegs, it's really good to use a saw and hack away any excess axle that protrudes from your lug nut. Phil actually has only about 1 thread, so you don't really need to cut that. But I'm just going to ruin his bike anyways. Huh? Gotcha. If your axle actually sticks out anywhere from like, you know, a few millimeters to about 1/2 inch or something like that, hack that bad boy right off. And that goes whether it's inside the peg or not. So now that you've removed any excess metal that you can get off your bike, wait, there's one more. We're going to drill some holes in Phil's frame for no reason. I'm a mad scientist. Originally, there was this brand that, I don't know if they're around anymore, but they used to have a bunch of holes in their seat tubes, underneath the bottom bracket, and I think even some in the head tube. I mean, I guess it helps, but then what happens is your frame cracks, or bends, or explodes. You don't want that. No need for this. Okay, enough of the jokes. So, one of the most important things that you can actually do to reduce weight on your bike is tires and tubes. And the whole wheel, to be honest. The reason for that is that it's called rotational weight. So basically how this works is that once this is actually spinning, you have basically the G-forces of the weight spinning around pulling you down. So if you get really light tires, like folding tires, or you use titanium spokes, you use single wall rims on the front and double wall rims in the back, aluminum axles, titanium spokes, the rim, the tire, the tube, all that stuff actually does add up, again, because of the rotation, so it'll make a big difference. That's why a lot of park riders like Harry Mayne and Logan Martin, dudes like that, ride those KHE folding tires, super thin tubes, or you can actually get like a 16 or 18-inch tube and stretch it out and get it on the 20-inch, or you can actually use like a 20.125 inner tube and put it in a 20.4-inch wide tire, and then the tube will expand and actually be thinner. There are brands now that make the 2.4 inner tube, but that means that there's going to be more rubber, so that's more weight. Also, a lot of people use rim liners, or they use a ton of electrical tape, or even just like the rim strips. Make sure you're not overdoing it on that. If you remove a lot of those things, that'll also save some weight. Next up, chains. Phil and I do a lot of different kind of like sprocket stalls, and we put a lot of pressure on our chain. But if you're not into a lot of that stuff, you don't really need a Supreme chain or a half-link chain. You can use a very traditional chain. They're really strong. Again, we use the heavy-duty chains because we do grinds, or we put a lot of pressure on this area. We bitch crank, anything like that. But if you don't do that, you don't even have to. You can just get rid of it altogether. And last but not least, you can get some helium in these bad boys. Go find some helium, and you'll be talking like this all day. You can reduce some weight there. Phil, anything else you think we could remove? And if you're like me, if you take off your brakes, that'll save a lot of weight too. But you know what? I go to the gym, bruh. I don't need this weight weenie stuff. So for me, brakes, gyros, 4 pegs, bring it. I ain't scared, but you guys might be. So here's a bunch of tips on how to lose some weight. This has been your boy Alfredo with Tech Thursday. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please follow Phil Bra for helping me with everything. He helped me figure out this new mic. He helped me run down the street. He even hooked it up with some tacos. So, you know what it is. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time, aka tomorrow. Peace.
It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it.